Well, as we have with every group so far in this World Championships, this group is absolutely stacked. We have 5 lifters that between them are defending champion from last year, which is xvid of Russia. We have last year's second place runner-up, Kang of China. We also have the Olympic champion, Rim of People's Republic of Korea, the Asian champion, Kim from People's Republic of Korea, and Lydia Valentin of Spain, who is this year's European champion. So between those 5 lifters, they hold pretty much all of the important titles.
Yes, just looking down that list there, you'll notice that Valentin has got the lightest body weight. Just looking for Valentin's name on there. Well, not coming up on the start list, so that could be a bit of news. No, we've got 2 pages for you. There you go. So Valentin coming in at a decent weight. That could count favourably for the European champion. But in terms of the start weights, as much as we can go on those entry weights, who are we looking at as the top 3? Obviously, xvid in superb form over the last couple of seasons, but she will have challenges today.
Yes, she will. Looking at the starting weights that have been posted, the heaviest snatch is from Kang of China, 126. That is quite a substantial first attempt at this bodyweight category. xvid only 3 kilos behind. Now, it's all very well saying these are the starting weights, but we can't go on them 100%. The lifters will have 2 opportunities to change those weights, and they could throw them up, they could bring them down. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see how their warm-up goes and what decision their coaches make.
A look down through the athletes backstage. Rim Jong-sim, the Olympic champion from 2012, one of those athletes that will no doubt be in the mix. But as Michaela mentioned, the likes of Kim, the Asian champion, European champion, world champion, runner-up last year, all here in what should be a fabulous event. And as we've seen in several competitions so far across the week, Michaela, these athletes have been driving each other onto some fabulous performances, but we've also seen some serious cat and mouse tactics as well with the weights.
Yes, this isn't just about the competition on the platform that we see. I wish we had a separate camera that was constantly in the warm-up room to see all of the tactics and the changes that go on, because while the lifter is focused on their own performance, they will be concentrating on their warm-up. And here we can see the Canadian girl with 55 kilos on the bar. These lifters will start with an empty bar and build up gradually until they approach their starting weights. But the coaches may make those changes, and when one lifter changes a weight, that could then throw the other coaches to change theirs as well, to try and stay with the competition and with the medals.
Yes, that nice little domino effect as the coach is suddenly scurrying about backstage to report on who's doing what. Let's take a look down the list of past winners. You'll note xvid really has a lot of pressure on her today, despite that form in previous World Championships with those 2 titles, 2011, 2013. Russia haven't performed particularly well here, and the big stat that everyone's talking about is the 99 golds. They're looking to move into the 100 category to join China, Bulgaria and the Soviet Union in terms of performance at world level. So we'll see if she can do that today, but it's going to be interesting. Little look back then at the B group first of all, and remember the 3 medals on offer. And in the snatch, great performance from Yarmolenko, but this lady, Antonia Ferreira, bringing home a fantastic result for Brazil. Clean and jerk, 130 kilos. Finally got it stabilised for a total of 230. And with talk about Brazil becoming more and more frequent with Rio around the corner now, then that's certainly a name to watch out for. And fabulous performance from her across both categories. As I said, didn't quite perform to the highest level in that snatch, but came home with a fabulous effort in the clean and jerk. And Brazil, and the focus on Brazilian lifting over the next couple of years is going to be quite intense, Michaela.
Absolutely. You can see here 130 clean, heavy to stand up with. Bit shaky overhead, but manages to stabilise. She gets the down signal, and as you said, Brazil now have every opportunity. Their lifters will be fighting for places for the next Olympic Games. They will, by right, qualify at least 2 women and probably 3 men. So those places are there. They don't have to go out and chase points and qualify.
Did not hold back there, right on the limit, and brought home a fantastic gold medal for Brazil. So that's how things went in the B category anyway. So as we move through the weight categories, 75 kilos for the women today. And there is the European champion just getting herself ready, going through her final preparation backstage, Lydia Valentin of Spain. The lightest competitor today in this A group, so that may prove to be a decisive factor, but some serious talent to look out for today. 5 athletes that we think have got genuine chances to record a gold medal, and 2-time world champion Nadezhda Yachikina, certainly the favourite amongst them, but a couple of really serious Asian lifters as well should push her all the way, including the Asian and Olympic champions in Rim and Kim. So looking forward to a fabulous day's competition here on Eurosport from this World Weightlifting Championships in Almaty, Kazakhstan. Simon Golding and Michaela Breeze with you for 75 kilos for the women, 105 kilos for the men. And, well, previous day's competition, Michaela, has certainly whetted the appetite, and it should be another cracker today.
Yes, it has. I'm very much looking forward to this group, seeing how it unfolds. And yet again, I couldn't put my money on one lifter if I had to. No, I couldn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't
and Kang,
want to put you on the fence.
It's going to be so difficult to make a call. And likewise, we've got the men's group to follow in a couple of hours too. We've got Ilya Ilin going there, who is simply undefeated. Simply
the best, yes.
There is nothing else to describe him other than undefeated. He has never, ever been beaten. Could today make history.
So time to get this competition underway. Snatch will be followed by the clean and jerk, and then we'll have our total winner, but 2 gold medals on offer prior to that. And first up will be Yao of Taipei, coming into the competition. 97 and making that look very easy indeed. Those short levers coming to the fore there for Yao. But a good opener.
Hands a little closer than we've seen with some of the athletes. Good extension, nice and quick under the bar. Just drops her head there. That's obviously the way she's comfortable with, to allow her to receive the bar nicely overhead through that base of support. If you draw a line down from the bar through her shoulders, it should fall directly over her feet.
It's going to be now Kachanke to come in first, but already that little bit of cat and mouse between coaches and athletes starting up. Kachanke, former Cameroon athlete, now lifting for France, coming in at 100.
Yeah, she's ready to come out. She knows she's going to be the next lifter, but what happens is when a lifter has completed a lift, the bar automatically goes up by 1 kilo. So Yao of Taipei, who has just succeeded with 97, the bar has gone to 98. Nothing can happen until she makes a decision to up her weight. So she has done now. She's posted a 101. It will now bring in Nao.
Yeah, again, part of that mentality that the international weightlifter has to develop. It's not just about the weights, it's about coping with those little delays and just trying to blank everything out, concentrate on what you're there to do. So Gail Verlaine now Kachanke, now lifting in Clermont in France, comes to the stage. 26 years of age, so one of the older lifters in this competition. And again, that speed making that look pretty comfortable. Just a little move forward once the weight was stabilised, just trying to convince everybody that was all part of the plan.
Well, she originally posted a 95 kilo lift at the weigh-in, which took place a couple of hours ago. She's increased that to 100. Just look how high she catches the weight. Extremely powerful in the legs and glutes. It really was only just deep enough to call it a squat snatch. Very long levers, shake of the head. It should have been more comfortable. I'm sure we're going to see more from her over the next 2 lifts.
Yes, one of the taller athletes in the competition, and again, that's another one of those fascinating elements to today's lifting. We're going to see quite a lot of different techniques on show. It's Yao coming straight back out as the bar goes up by that single kilogram that Michaela mentioned. Looked very, very comfortable under 97, did Jan. 21 years of age, coming up through the weight categories. Just to give you an idea of how the athletes move through those weights, 2010 at the Youth Olympics, she was in the 63 kilo category. So quite a substantial weight difference up to this senior level now at 75. So head up to start with, but we'll see if the head down technique comes in to play. No, just a little bit too much for her. Never got into position at all there.
Well, just see if we watch the replay, a little short on the extension of the hip joint. Really needs to drive the chest high to get another inch or so on the bar. This lifter has actually been up to a body weight of 85. She has competed in the over 75s. So having dropped her body weight down to compete in this category, she's obviously got herself in better physical condition. Personal best of 106 though, so this 101 should be comfortable. That's Lydia Valentin in picture.
It's all part of the mental jousting at the start of this competition. Valentin, along with the 4 other title holders and performers at the highest level in this competition, we'll just be waiting to see when she comes in.
Well, she's only got an empty bar here, so she's only just starting her warm-up. We've got 11 lifters in the group, each have 3 attempts. She's going to be one of the last in. Therefore, she has to time her warm-up to perfection so that as she reaches top weight in warm-up, they call her to the platform. Yeah, just running to the platform here.
Well, she was a little bit close on time last time out. Ran the clock down to inside 20 seconds. But he's going to have to watch it here. Last 5 seconds then. Just gets it underway. Oh, well done. Maybe that touch of added pressure. Just getting enough adrenaline into that lift, and that was a lot more solid from her. So 101 is her finishing total from her 3 lifts in the snatch competition.
Maintains a really strong back off the floor. You see that again, her right foot moves, but her left foot doesn't. Interesting. Obviously carrying more weight slightly on one side. Much better extension, really drove the chest high. And that 101, 5 kilos below her best, which was done at a heavier body weight, so that's pretty good for her.
Canada waiting to come out in the shape of Marie-Yves Beauchemin-Nadeau from Montreal, Quebec in Canada, 26 years of age, racing onto the stage, the Commonwealth Games champion in Glasgow, silver medal back in Delhi, so good performances at that level. And plenty of time here for her first entry weight into the snatch competition at 102 kilos.
Quick glance at the clock. There is a clock on the platform, so the athletes do know they don't have to turn around to see the clock that we can see behind them. There is a clock on the platform. Oh, that was soft. Very, very soft. Far from convincing first attempt. If she's going to be successful, this needs to really explode through the middle part of the lift, find some more legs.
It's very disappointing for Marie-Yves and Canada. That's not a great start to her A group challenge. So the big names in this 75k women's category just looking fairly relaxed behind stage. Kang Yue, and the likes of Lydia Valentin and 2-time world champion Vesjukina of Russia, all waiting for them to come in and see what weight they are going to come in at. And Kyla Breeze alongside me talked about the warm-up area and the fact that Valentin is just in the early phases, and warm-up is so much more about just getting the muscles warm. It's about getting that reception into the body, so understanding the muscle tension, understanding everything about your body, and making sure that when you go into lifting these heavy weights, you're absolutely in tune to do so.
Yes, you have to make sure you're obviously loosened off before, a bit of a pulse raise, a bit of a stretch out. Usually the stretching consists of some work with an empty bar, no weights at all, just working through the range of movement to loosen off the shoulders, the hips, the knees, ankles. All of the joints come into play here, so the warm-up does need to be thorough. And then they start with a light weight. So here we can see Kang of China with only 45 kilos on the bar. As with Lydia Valentin, she's just starting to get going.
But for Marie-Yves Beauchemin-Nadeau, it has started, and it hasn't started well, I'm afraid, for the Canadian. Coming in at 102 kilos. Heaviest lift we've seen so far in the snatch, successfully completed by Yao of Taipei. 101. But very, very soft on her first attempt. Didn't seem to generate any speed and drive underneath the bar.
Much better. There was a change in speed as the bar passed the knees. A small step forwards to steady herself back underneath the bar. It's probably because she dropped her chest, I think, as she stood up. Let's watch the slow-mo to see what happens. Good extension, much quicker. Drops her chest, hence the step forwards. But she'll be pleased now she's in the competition.
Yes, delighted to say, just a hiccup on that first failed snatch. Just got a little bit forward on that one, but accommodated it, adjusted well. So Bushaman Nadu in the competition for Canada as we wait to see Nurmagomedova come out for Kazakhstan. In fact, it looks like it's going to be Bushaman Nadu again, and just saw Evesjikina still sitting down, not even getting warm yet.
She will have started her warm-up, but as with the other lifters, still probably playing with an empty bar.
Natalia Prisepa then coming out for Moldova. And there is a fair amount of cat and mouse going on. We're getting all sorts of names coming up and disappearing again as the coaches make their decisions about the weights. So Prisepa to come in. 25 years of age, 74.79 her body weight, so one of the heavier competitors, and that looks very solid from her. There's a lot more in the tank for Natalia.
Well, personal best of 102 recorded in competition. This is a 104, so a big starting weight. Very much an upper body lifter. That's going to take the speed off the bar. If we watch from the slow-mo, shoulders and arms come in at the top. Trying to get more height on the bar. Very, very strong, but I'd like to see her a lot quicker underneath. Bar doesn't need to travel much higher than the waist. If you drive powerfully with the legs, you will put momentum on the bar, which will then give you time to drop under.
So a new PB in the snatch then for Prisepa after that 102 in Tel Aviv at the European Championships. And back onto the stage comes Neo Kachanke of France. Successful lift at 100 kilos. 2 lifts left to come now, so just to 104. And look very, very strong with her opening lift. 5 kilos higher than the entry that she posted. And again, very similar result. That little move forward, but got the bar under control and gets a clean lift at 104. So good start to the competition for Gail Verlaine.
Well, she's running forwards with the weight quite simply because she's not sitting in as deep as other lifters are. That means she's having to drop her chest and compensate with good flexibility in the shoulders, but nonetheless super powerful to be able to catch this weight so high. On her toes as well as the bar came off the floor. Great recovery. Did very well to save it. The platform's 4 metres square. The athlete must remain on that platform, stand still, feet in line before the referees give the down signal.
Yes, we've seen a good few interesting staggers so far during the course of this week. Back out comes Nurmagomedova. And the Kazakhstan fans here in Almaty right behind their athlete. And there is Dr. Lee, the enigmatic coach who's been entertaining us all week. Oh, that was very nice indeed. How about that from Anna? So that keeps the fans interested. Enters at 105 and enters successfully.
Just drifting onto her right side as she comes off the floor. A solid opening attempt. Nice strong back. Little hesitant off the floor, but really explodes through the middle part of the lift.
Seeing a little bit of mix and match from these earlier lifters, so a little bit of compensation for maybe a lack of technical ability. When we get to our top 3-4 athletes, that's when we start to see the top package.
Well, you would expect, I would go that with the technical ability will reflect in the consistency of the athlete. So, you know, some of these girls that are maybe lifting the lighter weights, if they're technically good, we'd expect to see them getting 2 or 3 out of 3. A lifter lacking in technical proficiency will probably only succeed with 1, maybe 2 lifts if they're lucky.
Well, a little bit of a concern for Abaldina Velázquez of Colombia. Colombia with a fantastic history in lifting, always entertaining, but...
Yeah, well, when you lift your bottom up at the start that much, as the bar comes off the floor, you leave yourself exposed. She jumped back quite considerably from the bar, leaving it out in front.
So again, behind the scenes, Kim Eun-ju, Asian champion, just moving to slightly heavier weight as part of the warm-up, and these delays between the lifts are all about the weight going onto the bar and the next athlete having to make a choice, and that means that Vlois Cuesta just delayed a little bit before she's able to know that she's definitely next up onto the platform. So comes out for her second attempt at 105. Best lift so far in the snatch competition belongs to Naoka Chanke of France at 104. So this would move Vlois Cuesta into the lead. As you heard from Michaela, real technical mistake in that first lift. Still seemed to be a little bit out in front, but up in time to be able to drive into that. And not happy with herself.
Well, the frustration of having missed her first attempt. Of course she's not happy. You only have 3 attempts here on the big platform. You've got to make everyone count. That was a much better lift. A bit soft in the receiving position. Compare that to some of the other lifters we're about to see. They will receive it really aggressively. Solid landing with the feet. She just jumps back slightly, lands on her toes first, hence why it comes across as being soft. She's in the competition. It is
successful, so she's in, yeah. So at least there's something there, and moves to the lead in the snatch competition on 105. Well, a fascinating period here as we wait for the big lifters to get into their final preparations. Certainly more weight going on the bar for the European champion Valentin, so we would expect to see her posting something soon.
Well, it's 100 kilos she has on the bar. First attempt is 115 that's on the board. Very aggressive lifter.
Yeah, the highest posted weight at the moment is with the Chinese lifter Kang Yue at 126, so we'll see if that comes to fruition. Toshiman Nadieu in for Canada then. Disappointment at 102 in that first round, but reasonable lift second up, and a big broad smile from the Canadian.
Come on, let's go.
But only left with this single lift to post a total here, and she's come in at 107. Well, 107 is her PB, but not really looking comfortable up on the platform today. I have to rely on that clean and jerk, which is pretty decent for Marie-Yves to get herself back in the competition.
Oh, she's done a 110, but this just looks really soft, really out of condition, out of form. Everything was on her toes as the bar came off the floor, and that's going to be a very, very disappointing end to the snatch phase of the competition.
But you've made your point consistently during the week, Michaela. You've got to pick your fights during the season. You can't be informed for everything.
No, that's right, particularly as these lifters gain in years. We don't have any juniors in this group. It's important to be selective, and this is one of the big problems we have in Britain, where there's a lot of competitions and athletes try to peak in it or try to do well in every competition, and the athletes end up just stagnating because there's no real time for adaptation to take place.
Last lift then for Naoka Chanke, 107. And if she can stabilise it, France have the lead in the snatch, and delighted with that one.
3 from 3, and I'm sure there's more there as well. That really was a great effort. 100 is the best that I have recorded at any other international, so she may have done more in training, but that's a great run of lifts. 100, 104, 107, 3 from 3, happy days.
Great start then from Gail.
Step forward is just a technical issue. She's just dropping her chest as she stands out. She'll go away and work on that.
Good to see that reaction, though. Just a little reminder that these athletes will have individual and personal goals set within the competition itself, and that's obviously been achieved for France. Natalia Prisepa then came in at 104, bar moves to 108. She's decided she's going to go. And Moldova take over the lead in the snatch competition. Very powerful athlete, Prisepa, and just with a few tweaks to that technique, looks very good.
Just trying to pull the bar higher, whether or not there's any more there. Guess time will tell.
Yeah, it still has one lift to go to improve on that.
Bar's a long way out, away from her body as it comes up, so she's going to do well to nail her third, I think.
So, Valois Cuesta of Colombia has the option next up at 108. Got a successful lift at 105, but it took her 2 attempts, and that's put her under pressure in this competition. Kazakhstan lifter behind the stage, Nurmagomedova. Well, she also has the option to come in if Valois Cuesta decides not to go at 108 and doesn't look like she's moving to the platform, so maybe Kazakhstan coming in at 109. Certainly looks ready to go, does Anna. Once again, very important to keep yourself composed during this phase. You can get a little bit involved in this if you're not careful.
Yeah, there's a tendency as well for the coaches to be in the athlete's face, really almost in their space. It doesn't usually happen in training. The coach allows the athlete to crack on. I don't know why at competition suddenly the coach is there so much.
So, Nurmagomedova comes out for Kazakhstan, and immediately the response here in Almaty is excellent. Here in the Baluin Sholak Palace of Sport and Culture. Baluin Sholak, incidentally, a great composer and poet, but also wrestler from Kazakhstan history. Died at the turn of the century, but made a big name for himself in all his activities. So big lift here, 110 on the bar. Nicely done. Well, she does muscle it through, doesn't she?
Looks very heavy off the floor. The speed off the floor is irrelevant. It's what happens when the bar passes the knees that's important. And we'll see a definite change in speed. There, accelerates up, drops in. Doesn't wait to try and pull the bar any higher. Nice and solid.
As with all sport, timing absolutely crucial, and the linkage of all those elements to the lift absolutely vital. Dina Valois Cuesta then will be hoping she can get that right for this final lift in the snatch competition for the Colombian. She also coming out at 110, but has not looked comfortable.
Oh, she's done well to recover. It was a long way over the bar as it came off the floor. Watch the slow-mo to be able to see it a bit better, a bit closer. But she's going to be really pleased with that recovery, having failed 105 on her first attempt.
Yes, things could have been a lot worse.
Just tipped forward, had to take the weight on her upper body to pull it back. Did well.
And some clever adjustments that little bit of experience at this level brings you.
To jump back to compensate for the earlier error in the lift. When you drop your chest as the bar comes off the floor, the only way you can go then is to throw the shoulders back. And it becomes a swing on the bar, and she did well to steady it overhead. So easy to lose in front or behind.
Prisepa's last lift then, 111 kilos, so again, quite an advancement from 108. Plenty of time on the clock still, so not an issue. Oh. Wow, that was right on the edge, but got it done.
Well, because the bar's so far away, through the middle part of a lift, I just want to highlight what happens as the bar passes the mid-thigh. We need to see it from the side to be clear. See how far away the bar is. She had to run forwards to get herself back underneath. Stabilises herself, feet in line. Referees will be happy with that. And that's a massive PB as well. 9 kilos up on a weight that she's posted at an international before. Great fight on her final attempt.
Fantastic stuff from the 25-year-old Moldovan. Hence the celebration from Prisepa. Good day for her so far, and a new name at last coming in. So the cat and mouse tactics starting to unfold now. As number 5, Rim Yong Sim, comes to the party. One of the lighter competitors here, the 21-year-old. But the Olympic champion maybe coming in just a touch sooner than we thought.
A really nice position overhead, but just maybe worth noting, yes, she's the Olympic champion, but that was achieved in the lighter category, in the 69 category, so she's stepped up her body weight, but wasn't that comfortable on her first attempt. 115, personal best of 118, so it just shows that by increasing body weight, she's obviously increased in strength as well. Super straight underneath the bar, great attempt.
Very, very precise from the North Korean. The Olympic champion at 69 kilos is in business at her new body weight. So an excellent 75 kilos competition developing here for the women. Men go at the 105 kilo weight category later on today here on Eurosport. But a warm welcome from this Almaty crowd for Nurmagomedova of Kazakhstan. Successful at 105. And needs a decent lift here to keep some hopes alive in what is a quality field. It's a good series from her. She'll definitely take that.
The teammates that have gone earlier in the week. It's great to see all the athletes coming out and supporting each other. Some of the athletes will fly home straight afterwards. As we get to the end of the competition, it's been a long old week. And these lifters would have been hanging around a lot of the time in their hotel rooms, putting the final preparations on in the training hall. But look at this, for an effort, third attempt. Really trusts her speed, confidence underneath the bar, knows exactly where it's going. It's a good run.
Yes, the slow-mo's illustrating just why Olympic lifting is becoming an integral part of so much strength and conditioning work now for many sports. So out onto the stage, the second of the North Koreans involved today. Already seen Rim successful, now the Asian champion, Kim Un-hyo. And that is solid from her as well.
Well, there's your Asian champion, both this year, 2014 and 2013. Although when she, in 2013, she's only just moved up in 2013 to this category. So much quicker than her counterpart. And it's good, isn't it, to see two lifters from the same country pushing each other all the way?
Yeah, it produces results, that pool of talent driving each other on. Now then, Lydia Valentin Perez had posted 115 as her entry weight, but coming in at 120. So we'll see what sort of shape the European champion is in. Spain with such a talented lifter. The lighter body weight as well may come into play for her during the course of this competition.
This is a huge opening attempt. Personal best of 122 last year. So hasn't done that this year. This is a 120 opener. She really wants this.
Well, this is what she has to do in this sort of company, running the clock right down. Oh no. Well, took her time over that one. And that didn't look particularly close at all, and that could be our first little bit of drama for today as the European champion moves away from the platform. Didn't get close at all here.
Hope she hasn't started too early, come in too heavy. It was slightly out in front, bar on her toes. very lopsided as well. I don't know if she's been carrying an injury, but she hopefully will come out and execute her second attempt.
Yes, it's not unheard of for big names to go out in the early stages of a competition. Yevstykina at the Olympics in 2012, for instance. Messed up there. So North Korea back on the platform.
Well, that was better than the first attempt. It was quicker.
She's fast, isn't she, Rim?
Well, I thought her first attempt was in slow-mo, but that one was much more decisive, much more dynamic. Coach is having a quick chat. What should we take next? One attempt remaining. There's usually a quick discussion between coach and athlete to decide which weights to take. Ultimately, the coach will be the one that keeps an eye on the scoreboard. Will know the weights that are necessary for the medals.
So pressure for Lydia Valentin. Failure at 120, but as Michaela said, big weight for her to come in with a PB at just 122. And so far, the risk has not paid off. Big moment in this competition then.
Oh, much better extension.
What a recovery.
What a pressurised lift. Miss your first, OK, you've still got two more. Miss your second, and then you're in trouble. She did well to nail that on a second attempt. And this is a lifter with probably the most experience out of anybody in the field. She's been competing on the international stage since 2001. And I remember going to competitions with her when we were both youth, junior, under 23 athletes. And she's a lovely girl, works hard, and great to see her really stepping up to the mark. Only 2 kilos below her best. Third place at the World Championships last year. Can she get in the running this year?
Well, certainly posted her intentions early, the 29-year-old from Spain. Successful then at 120, and now all the big names are in. Nadezhda Yevstykina, double world champion. Missed out in 2012 at the Games, though. And it comes in at an opening weight of, is it 123?
123, yeah.
So 123, a kilo heavier then than the PB from Valentin. So this would see off that challenge early, and she'll still have another couple of lifts after that, remember. Russia looking for that 100th gold medal, and this is the woman that they want to do it for them. Well, a shake of the head there.
Yeah, the referees gave her... Well, she took a step forward, so in terms of perfection, which is what she's expecting, it wasn't. She took a step forwards to steady herself. Nothing wrong with that. The referees actually gave her the down signal before her feet were in line. See here, no problem. Whoops, one step forwards, just to steady herself. Feet are not in line, gets the down signal, then corrects it before lowering.
Yes, the big names. It does carry a little bit of kudos up there on the platform, and why not? They've worked hard to earn it. So Russia in business through the defending world champion, Nadezhda Yevstykina. And this could be where the big challenge comes today from the North Korean pairing. Rim and Kim looking in super form. The Olympic champion then with her third and final lift.
Onto her toes.
She's got it. So 123 then for Rim, but made hard work at that.
Well, it just shows what stability these athletes have in their shoulders and core to be able to pull that weight back. Watch the slow-mo. She was on her toes. There we go. Great core to bring it back. Sits for a second before standing. Well done.
And that familiar smile that we're seeing from a lot of the North Korean athletes here this week, really enjoying themselves. So far, so good in the women's 75 kilo category. All the big names still in. Failure at 120 for Lydia Valentin, but she was due to come in quite a lot earlier into this competition. So actually, even with that failure, 120 is still a good total. But as Michaela Breeze alongside me said, 122 her PB, so this is into unknown territory for Lydia Valentin.
She's got it.
Oh, superb lift from the Spaniard. Oh, that's a dream start. Fabulous effort from Valentin.
And you know what, she's the lighter.
Challenger.
She's the lightest of all the lifters still remaining in the competition, so that's put herself now up into gold medal position. We've still got Kang of China, who is yet to start. Kim has 2 replies, and so does Evstrakina. So question is, can anybody now go ahead of her and knock her off the podium? She's in a medal position, and that's a great recovery, having missed her first attempt, and a 2 kilo personal best.
Yep, you said body weight may be a factor here. And with the way that she has started this competition, it could still be the case. Fabulous effort. That's the way to pass the pressure down the line. And the last of our lifters in, Kang Yue. Well, we know what a quality snatch lifter she is. She's been very, very solid in this phase of the competition now for a number of years. She's been the athlete to beat. How big can she go today, Michaela?
Well, the world record, senior world record, is 1:35. That's held by Natalia Zabolotnaya of Russia. It's set a few years ago, so we're starting here within 9 kilos of it.
Oh, no, maybe not today then. So that little look across to the coaches, and we've seen this from several Chinese athletes so far at these World Championships. They've cut it pretty close to the line in the snatch phase.
Yeah, that just seemed to be a very lazy lift. But if we look at the starting position, the angle of her back looks like chest is a little low, bottom down, just left the bar out in front. You can't do that.
North Korea then, and Kim Won-hyu back onto the platform, the Asian champion. Very tricky with the Asian Games not being that long ago for the athletes to actually get this preparation right to come into the World Championships 6 weeks later. Kim looking solid though on her opening lift. Oh, got to steady it, she has. Wow, that's amazing from Kim. Did not look like she was going to make that.
That's a big increase, 6 kilos. And she's done well. She's definitely guaranteed herself a medal. The question is what colour. Just takes a step backwards. It's not often we see that, but obviously had to stabilise herself. Good extension, nice and quick. Ooh, nearly lost it.
So 126 from Kim puts herself into gold medal position, with Valentin at 124 just behind her, and Evstrakina can change all of that. So 126 for Evstrakina, slightly higher body weight I think for her at 74.40 over Kim at 74.63. So no, she would go into the gold medal position, but no, that was not comfortable.
Now Evstrakina is under pressure, the former, or the current world champion.
Yeah, decisions to make ahead of that third lift.
Oh, did not look happy with that when she came off the platform. Good extension, but out in front. You need to have your body underneath the bar to have any chance of standing.
This is the woman under the most pressure at the moment, Kang Yue of China, not successful at her entry weight, and normally so proficient in snatch. That was a big surprise.
I think the coach is shouting, come on, wake up, start firing. That last attempt was very lethargic.
Gotta go, no, Kang Yue one lift away from making that a permanent bow out of the competition.
No, I know her arms were straight, but I wouldn't say it was high enough. Bar was left out in front. I think she probably needs another inch on it here. Position-wise, not too bad. This angle will give us a better indication of what went wrong. Just landed on her toes. Not much wrong with it. just lacking a little bit of leg power, which she desperately needs to find. I can tell you now, Lydia Valentin will be in the warm-up room watching anxiously, because if this weight goes to ground, she will take a medal on the snatch.
Evshikina with her last lift.
Oh, Evshikina has other ideas.
She's spoilt the party, I'm afraid, for Valentin. So, successful lift then from Evshikina. Still not happy, but that's all part of firing herself up for the rest of this competition. So 126 puts her into gold medal position on body weight, ahead of Kim.
Good old walk in the park there.
They nearly used the full extent.
So long as you stand still and that bar's overhead, it doesn't really matter how it gets there. That's a good lift, and she's guaranteed herself a medal. Up into the gold at the moment. Kang is the only person now that can push Valentin off the podium.
Oh, what an interesting situation for Kang Yue. Third and final lift to get into the medals or exit the competition. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, we've seen it before from the Chinese athletes this week. Last chance saloon, and Kang Yue makes it, so she will feature in the clean and jerk, and she will be able to go for a total, but has to settle for a silver medal, rather unusually, in the snatch phase of this 75 kilo category. Not up to her normal best. Well, still with Kim to go, my apologies, so one lift left. That big jump from 120 to 126, and now just goes up a single kilo and could once again change the whole scoreboard here. This for gold.
Well, a kilo is all she needs. She was the heavier lifter, therefore the 126 that she's just been successful with wasn't good enough for gold. This one will be.
Yes, the plan may still play out. Needs just didn't quite make it. That extra kilo just a little bit too much, and Evshikina puts another gold medal on the board, not just for herself but for Russia.
Well, we've got the top three athletes here all finishing on 126. How that's decided now, the lighter lifter will take the lead, which is Evshikina. Kang is the next lightest lifter, so she will take silver medal. And Kim, in picture here, finishing with a 126 from the previous attempt, is enough for the bronze. Absolutely gutted to lift the same weight as the gold medalist, but
it's
be split on body weight.
Spare a thought for Valentin as well, just off the podium there. But in terms of the overall competition, Lydia Valentin will be delighted with that 124. But how about that? Evshikina takes the gold in the snatch. Kang Yue takes the silver for China, just. And then Kim managing to get herself in there. Finally, just missing at 127, missing out on the gold, but managing to get herself a bronze. And exactly what we wanted.